welcome back. Your dreams were your ticket out. Welcome back to that same old place that you laughed about. Well, the names have all changed since you hung around, but those dreams have remained and they've turned around. Who'd have thought they'd lead ya? Who'd have thought they'd lead ya? Back here where we need ya. Back here where we need ya. Yeah, the tease him a lot, 'cause we got him on the spot. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back.
Welcome back. All right, get a stretch. Oh, that's good. That's good. That's good. All right, welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. All right, so really quickly for this break session, hopefully your last work session was a good one for you. For me, not too bad. I ran into some weird technical details. So I got the information I needed from the artist to finish up to get the files uploaded so we can get the 7-inch vinyl records started to get it processed. And I was doing everything. I like to do stuff in the browser, so that way it's available to me everywhere, like wherever I go. And but the thing is, so I needed to convert it to a certain like color palette or whatever, because there's RGB in the browser, but to upload it to the place it needs to be CMYK. And I had to do some other stuff. So I kind of like downloaded the files to my laptop, my other laptop, and I was kind of working on it there and made it CMYK and made sure everything was good. And I was, flattening layers and all this other stuff. But then I wanted to add this other text to it that I got back from the artist. And I tried to open it up in the browser, but then it said it doesn't support that color format or whatever. I'm like, oh, crap. So I had to go and get my other one. But the thing is, the fonts that I used were in the browser and not on my laptop. Even though I think it said it downloaded it. I don't know. It didn't, whatever. So, but I was going to use another font anyway, whatever. It doesn't matter. So I had to go and do that. So that's pretty much what I was spending my time on, going back and forth between my laptop. So I finished it up. I sent it back to the artist to make sure everything is fine, like the spelling and everything is good. And then, so after that, so I'm hoping to hear back. They're in a different time zone, and so I'm hoping to hear back by the time we get back, so I can go ahead and get that thing published. So, a lot of that being said, for this break session, I wanted to take a look at a thing that AI actually helped me with. You know what I mean? And so I've been kind of using AI as like a companion, and specifically Google's Gemini AI. I've been using it for a bunch of different things, but for like coding, what I did was I'm working on this project. And I'm gonna make this a little bit bigger so that it'd be better to see on the screen. And for this project, I am using Firebase. So I'm using Firebase for the authentication and for the, and since I'm using the authentication, I'm also using Firestore for the database. And I'm using Cloud Functions from Firebase to be kind of like what do you call it? An endpoint. Like a web endpoint, API endpoint for other stuff coming in, for other services to be able to notify and get things going. And so I was like, all right, I'm just going to use Firebase for all of that because it's all in one place. I really like to have my stuff in one place and be able to work on things there. So that's what I was doing. And I got it done, up and running. Cool, everything's good to go. Then I want to add transactional emails so that when something happens, it's basically a thing for my business to be able to, when I get an order, it'll send me an email. When I update the order status of the order for the customer, then they'll get an email with that updated status, pretty much. And they can go and log into the website to get more information. And so let me show you. So I haven't used Firebase like a lot recently because I never really needed to. A lot of stuff I've done has just been like simple like web apps. So everything you need is doing the browser. Like I don't like storing people's information. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of the stuff have been like, you do it all within the browser kind of thing, right? But this one I needed to be able to store stuff. And so like files and things. And so let me share my screen. So now, like I mentioned, I'm using Cloud Functions, right, for Firebase. And the ones I've used before, right, the functions I've used before, and there's apparently a second generation now. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So since I just created it, I'm pretty sure I'm on second generation. I'm like 90% sure because I just created it as a new project, right? And so, so yeah, I didn't have to upgrade or anything. Now, the ways that I've done it before, right, is that I've called functions from my app itself. And that's what I was thinking I would need to do for this transactional emails. I was thinking once I enter in the update, and when I click that update button, I would then call onto the Firebase function from my app. So I would do this, right? And so like lets you, so the cloud function for Firebase client SDKs lets you call functions directly from your Firebase app. So I thought that was going to do from a web application, right? And so it is pretty cool where you can like basically you have the on call, right? You get it from the Firebase function HTTPS, and then you get the database or whatever, and then you have this thing export add message, the on call. So when you add a message, so it saves the Firebase to the Firebase real-time database, but sanitizes the text by removing swear words. So yeah, so you have this exports.add message on call. So that's the type of thing there. That's what it is. You're calling it from your actual application. And then do they have it where it's in your application? Because then in your application, you just call it. Where is it? Not seeing where they're actually calling it. Because you like you. Oh wait, here you go. Send and receive stream. Yeah. Wait, this is the thing. So this would be like in your Firebase functions. Where is it? Receiving. Where is it? Then you deploy. Okay, yeah, here you go. Setting it up on here. All right. Then I'm doing, wait, web. Yeah, so you install Firebase. Cool. You do the get functions, you initialize it. Yeah, here we go. So yeah, so you have your add message, and then you have this HTTPS callable, and then the functions, and then you have the actual name of it, which was the same thing. Normally it's the same thing, like you name it the same thing, and then you just do what you normally do, and as if it's just like a regular function. So pretty dope. Yeah. I've also done, for the endpoint, like I mentioned before. So like for the what do you call? Oh, I'm blanking. I'm tired. It's the it's endpoint, but it is a. Did I use the word in here? It's a specific word. I'm just forgetting now. Webhooks. Oh, okay, yeah. So I use this via HTTPS call functions via HTTPS requests for my webhooks. So like Stripe or whatever other party, I'll put in a URL, and then that is what's ran when that endpoint is hit. And so yeah, so like exports say hello. So then it'll be like your website / say hello, pretty much. And then you can set the cores on it, which is pretty dope to make it a little bit secure to make sure it's coming from, you know what I'm saying, your URL, not some other random place. And then yeah, and then you just trigger it, and then timeout seconds here, blah blah blah, right? Yeah, so there's some new stuff I have not really seen before. And then you can do it with Firebase hosting. That's cool. And then yeah, so you would just call it. Where do I have it? Yeah, so it'd just be like your thing / whatever you named it. Did they say that here? No, but it would be like whatever URL / say hello, and you'd pass in whatever there. And yeah, if you're doing like posts, get, put, whatever you see here, this is what you would do. And yeah, cool. All that being to say, so those are the two that I was thinking. I would need to do the call functions from app to make this sending the transactional emails working, right? And then also, I had the plan to do it for the HTTP request, which is already there for like the Stripe endpoint. And so I was thinking, okay, I just need to add some code there. So it's already there. And I was thinking I would just need to do another call functions from the app, so an on call. So I did some research into the emails API and all this other stuff, right? And I was thinking about it. I'm like, all right, cool. This is my plan that I want to do. So I was like, well, you know what? Let me get like a second pair of eyes on it before I go and do anything. And so I put it into Gemini, Google's Gemini. And it's like, yeah, everything looks good. This looks right. But you could instead of doing the on call and calling it from your application and having to update, like to change the code in your application, you could just add this. It was like a trigger or something, like a Firestore trigger. And when you update the database, which is what I'm doing on the front end anyway, and when I get the call from like Stripe or whatever, then I can send an actual email using that. So using the database changing, I could then send the transactional email. So it would just be something I would add to the functions and don't have to do anything to my application. I'm like, oh, that's kind of interesting. So I didn't know what that was. So I looked it up. I'm like, oh yeah, trigger background functions. Pretty dope. And then they have this, where is it? Firestore. Yeah, Cloud Firestore triggers. And I was like, oh, interesting. And so basically you can have all these different things. So like on document created. So these are all with the Firestore, which is like the database, right? So you updated, deleted, written, all these other things. So I was rolling with the on updated. And then I think on updated. Yeah. I'm trying to think. Yeah. Cause I'm not doing on created. No, but yeah, on updated. Right. And then Gemini helped me out with some code and stuff. And I was like, oh, okay, this is not bad. And I haven't done it yet. I'm working on it, right? But I was like, oh, okay, cool. And so basically you just kind of, it's all right here. And so, yeah, so you're pulling all the stuff here from the Firestore Firebase functions, right? And then when it's on document written, and you say where in your database it is, and then it gives you an event. And then there's like different, like old, what it was and what you're like. So yeah, so you can match like what it is, like the changes, and then depending on certain changes, you can do stuff. And then let me see. So specify a group of documents using wildcards. All right. So then, so yeah, so like right here. So this would be like the wildcard, I guess, user ID. So whatever is written. And so if we set users Marie to name Marie to capital M, then the params user ID Marie. And so yeah, so this is what it was, or yeah, and then this is what it was after, something like that. Right. So yeah. Again, this is like still like new to me. You know what I mean? And so then, oh, there's like a change thing here. So yeah, so you have a user ID, message collection ID, and message ID. And then if we set the user Marie incoming messages number 134, the ID, to body hello, then the event params dot user ID is equal to Marie. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. And the incoming messages is the message collection. Yep, and the ID is that. Cool. And oh, and then afterwards, the body event after .data is body hello. All right, cool. Did they didn't use change here? I wonder what they use change for there. Okay. Then event triggers. So trigger a function when a new cloud is when a new document is created. All right. And so yeah, all right. So yeah, the new one is user. All right. And we have the name, age. So I wonder if it. Okay, so yeah, so it probably created the user ID, I'm thinking there. Yeah, and then you'd be able to get whatever data you want from it. All right. And then this is pretty much what I did, or what Gemini like suggested, was that you can just do when the document is updated, where, because I know it'll trigger this. So when there's an update on this endpoint, then it gives me all the information. So like there was like, what was it before? I think it was before event.data.before.data is like what it was. And then after is what is, I guess, the new value, right? And so you can be able to change, to be able to like put a conditional statement on it. It's like, all right, if this thing changed to this, or whatever. So you don't have it like update a bunch of times or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, so that was pretty cool. You were able to kind of like, they don't really say it though here though. I don't think so. Yeah, here you go. Before. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So this is basically what I'm going to be adding. So it's cool now. I'm just saying, like, the whole point of this is that Gemini, like AI, has like put me on to something new that I was like, oh, I did not know that thing was a thing. Let me see. First functions. Yeah, see, I'm used to the first generation functions. And so, yeah, so there's the call via HTTP and then calling functions from your app. Yeah, these are the only two that I really knew about. But it looked like they had it, Firestore triggers here before and storage. Oh, all right. So, yeah, so they got some other stuff. Okay. Dope. Oh, pub sub triggers. Okay. Oh, but yeah. Okay. So, yeah. So, yeah. So I was only familiar with this stuff and it's only those other ones. But using AI put me onto something new, and it makes it a little bit easier for me to implement as well. So I don't know. Yeah, I thought it was pretty dope. You know what I'm saying? Like I had my plan that I wanted to do. I checked with AI just to make sure that the plan was sound. And then I was like, oh, yeah, it is, but you could try this other thing and you can look into that. And it's pretty dope. And it gave me like the code and everything too. And I'm like, all right, look nice. So yeah, all that to say, pretty dope. Shouts to AI. And how are you using AI? Let me know. You know what I mean? Like I use it more as like a knowledgeable like co-worker. You know what I'm saying? And so it really helps me out, like keeps me up to date on some stuff that because I like I mentioned, I haven't really had to use it too much before. And it's kind of like it's always being updated by itself. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I thought that was pretty cool. All right, let me get y'all back to work so I can get back to work because I'm hoping to hear back from this person, and so I can go ahead and get this thing rolling. We'll see. I don't think he's emailed me yet, but there's some other stuff I need to work on, so we'll see. All right, we'll get y'all back to work so I can get back to work. I'm gonna send you all off with this traveling music. When we come back, we'll take a look at an artist's website, listen to music, watch some videos, maybe become a fan. But till then, here is Anthony Cruz, aka A Butter. The track's called Thank You. Thanks for hanging out. See you like 15 minutes after the hour. Till then, I wish you much productivity. All right, y'all be easy. Peace.
I want to say thank you for holding on when a brother was down and out. Now I feel so strong, and I want to say thank you for being there when a brother had nowhere to turn to. You were there, and I feel like hell. And everybody says hell. We spread love like hell. I want to say thank you for